Good evening. It is another live stream, and I think I have audio. Sorry, I'm a little still under the weather, but thanks for joining me. We got some fun stuff to talk about tonight. We're going to be diving into some Elgato stuff. We're going to actually install an update for the Prompter. Actually, I've already installed the Camera Hub software, but there is an update that we're going to do tonight. We're going to talk about a couple things that are now available that you can combine with the Stream Deck Plus. And if you don't know anything about the Stream Deck Plus, this is like a Stream Deck on steroids, and now you can add two different plugins to the back of this, get rid of the regular stand and use two different plugins, and we'll talk about those tonight. We're going to talk about voice sync for the Prompter. I have a new client that actually got a different prompter, and she bought it specifically because it has voice sync, and now the Elgato Prompter has the ability to do voice sync. So we're going to say hi to people here in the chat. So let me get this going right here. Chat on the air. I think chat's on the air here, and we'll say hi to Grish from the Oregon coast. Thanks for coming all the way with us tonight from Lincoln City. I think that's what Grish said here in the chat. It's good to have you here, Chio Walker. Hello from Jersey. That's a cool area to be from. And so thank you for joining us from Jersey. Doug's here. Doug hasn't shared a while in where he's from. But Doug, maybe you could put in the chat what part of the U.S. you're from, and some of these guys have channels, so go over and check out their channels. I'm going to say hi to Hank from Stop and Think, and he says hello to everyone, and you can see that he's from Bluffton, South Carolina. Ernesto is in the house tonight. Thank you for joining us. Ernesto, it'd be cool if you would put in the chat as well where you are from. That would be great. And then we have Tony here from Quick Tech Solutions. There is another channel that you can go over and watch and subscribe. Tony's got a couple new videos out, and been watching those. And so go over and check out his channel. I will go ahead and push record. And Tony says things sound 5x5. That's good to know. Yeah, I do sound a little under the weather. I'll tell a little bit more about my under the weather story after we get done saying hi to everybody here. Doug's going to update us on where he's from, Memphis, Tennessee. And Ernesto says it's 105 degrees in Buckeye, Arizona. And then we have David Osler here, another great channel. So go check that channel out. And I'll let David put in the chat again tonight where he is from. Some of these I already know, but I'm not going to disclose them because I really want to have more interaction as we go into the fall, and it is officially fall. It's September 3rd. We are live in the studio. My name is Keith. This is Life Journey Production Studios, and my wife reminded me that I should open every week with this a little advertisement, being that no one's paying me to be here, just the algorithm. So number one, if you have not subscribed and you're listening to this and you want to chat with us, just subscribe, and then you'll be able to chat after 1 minute. And we would love to have you chatting with us tonight. So make sure you hit the like button if you enjoy videos like this. I would love to have more and more people see these videos. Not everybody are super fans of Elgato products, but I do want to talk about the updates and the new things that are available for the Stream Deck Plus, as well as the update to the Prompter. So if you have an Elgato Prompter, make sure that you do the update, and we'll talk about that tonight. We're actually going to do part of the update live, and we're going to test out the voice sync to see if I can get it to work. I got my Prompter on right now. In fact, I'm not looking at chat like I normally do in the Prompter. I am looking at my text for tonight as we talk about the update to the Camera Hub, which also updates the Prompter. And so that should be fun. So again, thank you guys so much for joining us. We also have David's letting us know he's from Melbourne, Australia, so it's good to have you, as I said earlier, David. DJ Ware is in the house, and again, if you guys would like to let us know where in the world you're from, we would love to see it tonight in the chat, but it's good to have DJ Ware here tonight. There's another great channel, so check out his channel. And then Business Growth Ready, is it only onset man flu? So, yeah, I'm not sure what happened to me yesterday. So we had a nice relaxing weekend, had grandkids over. My wife had to go to a birth. She's a midwife, so I had a grandkid party with my son-in-law. So I had my granddaughter and my two grandsons from my daughter's family, and then my other daughter, I had my granddaughter here as well. So we had 4 grandkids here. My wife was gone at a birth, but I had my son-in-law Joel here, and there was no football this weekend for us for NFL. I'm not really big into college football. So we decided we were going to have a Saturday night movie night and party, and kids tore the house apart. It was a blast, and that was great. But for some reason, yesterday I ate something, and it did not sit right with me. I don't know if it was the food, but I was up most of last night battling whatever was going on inside my system. I actually did not get up this morning, my time, until about 9:30, but I was up 2 or 3, 4 hours last night, not feeling well in my stomach. And so anyway, so here I am. We are live. I already missed one 2 weeks ago from not feeling good, so I wasn't going to miss tonight's live. And but I wasn't feeling up to try to bring a Zoom guest in tonight, so I'm going to try to make arrangements to do that next week, give you guys an opportunity to go behind the scenes in one of my clients' podcast. And back to what Shannon said, I want to remind each and every one of you that I do consulting from here in the studio. Most of the things that I train here in the live streams, I also will help people, and I offer a free 1-hour consult. If you haven't used it before, you just have to go to my website, and actually there's a link in the descriptions below, but you can also go to my website and go to the Start Here page. So on the home page of my website, and again, I try to stream in all the videos down here, even though I'm a couple weeks behind here. I'll get that updated. So one way to see all my videos here on the channel. But if you go over to contact us up here in the menu, just fill out this form and say free 1-hour Zoom consult. I'll reach out to you. I get your email when you do that, and I'll offer you a free 1-hour consult. I do have some programs for consulting I share in those free consults, but I've helped about 15 different people in that 1 hour with them never signing up to be one of my clients, and that was absolutely a blast for me. And now I actually have a client that's around the corner from me. So believe it or not, I'm going to be able to go to a studio literally around the block. I now have a client that discovered me through a local friend here in the Tri-Cities, and so that's exciting. So I'll get to go in there and help this client set up their studio hands-on, not just through Zoom, which would be great. Got the Bat Cup tonight, even though it's been microwaved a number of times and it's falling apart. But this is one of my favorite cups. I got to get a replacement for it. So those of you that don't know, I'm a tiny bit into Batman 1966, and do plan on doing a stream this fall where I'm going to do a post show. I haven't done a post show in a while, but we're going to do a post show, and I'm going to share all of the different Batman paraphernalia that I have accumulated. Let's finish saying hi here. I see, well, I think I've said hi to everybody. I see a couple chats here. Chat on the air. So Chia Walker says he's a super fan. Thank you very much. Show must go on. Yeah, and we are recording. I had to change disc. I've had it stop a number of times. I did a test for the last 2.5, 3 hours to see if it would stop recording with a new disc, and it hasn't. So hopefully this will continue recording. Also, this video will be available obviously here on YouTube, but it's nice to have a full resolution H.264 file in my studio so that I can cut and crop and use pieces of this live stream for other videos, though I don't do that a lot. So I want to say thank you so much for those of you last week that helped me with my outline. Let's see, where is my other drink here? I'm going to have to keep the fluids going in. Also got some lozenges. I still, from like 3 or 4 weeks ago, I still have kind of a chest cough. And I felt great most of the days last week. I don't know what happened last night, but I seem to late afternoon, right about now when I'm live streaming, it seems to bother me the most. And then in the middle of the night. So I'm going to hammer a couple of these lozenges. I apologize if you hear any smacking. But that way I can keep talking and not have to shut down tonight's live stream early. But again, last week we did kind of an outline of my new getting started video for the Blackmagic Design Extreme ISO. And so I'm in the middle of production of that. We'll piece it all together. It'll be available here on the channel. And I'm actually going to show off some new features that have been available in the 9.5 update. I've done some videos on that, but now all of those new features, including 1 or 2 that I did not demo, will be in that video. And I want to thank you guys for giving me your ideas of what should be in that outline. So if you weren't here last week and there's something that you would like to see me cover in that Extreme ISO Getting Started guide, and that means, you know, how to hook it up, how to set it up, how to use a streaming bridge, how to use a HyperDeck with it, how to use a shuttle, how you can incorporate it with all the other tools in your studio, including Companion through the Stream Deck, and also some of the new features, like how you can use the new matrix in the webcam out through the USB-C port, how you can record to 2 drives if you're not using it as a webcam, and how you can do lots of new things, including integrate it with DaVinci Resolve. We're going to show all of those things. But if there's something particular that you would like me to cover, you can go ahead and put it in the chat tonight, and I'll copy and paste it from the chat in my notes and give you credit in the video. That's right. Everybody that shared an idea last week and this week, as I record, are going to get a little credit. And I haven't done much of that recording yet, so I got a long ways to go. So there's still time for you to get a shout out inside that video series, and I'm hoping to keep it shorter than the ATEM Mini Pro series here on my channel, but we'll see. So, okay, if you popped in late, I think I've said hi to everybody that's in the chat. Let me double check over here in the chat that I didn't pop out. Yep. So I am caught up. Hopefully this won't bother you, but I just want to make sure that I can continue talking tonight. So we're going to talk about 2 new adapters that you can use with the Stream Deck Plus and what you might use them for. We're going to look at the website. This will be what we're going to start with tonight. Then we're going to get to the Prompter update after that. This is going to take about 10, 15 minutes to cover those 2 plugins. We're going to look at the information on Elgato's site and maybe why you'd want to use those 2 plugins and what they do and what they're for. But I find it very interesting that they are actually expanding the Stream Deck Plus. And again, the biggest difference between the Stream Deck Plus and the regular Stream Deck is that this has not just buttons, but it also has touch screen. You have the knobs, so you can use the knobs to control things where you really need a dial. Like you can create packs for this and scroll forward and back on your timeline. You can use it for doing all kinds of different software. And there's a company here that's available on my channel that I did some videos for. As of right now, I have their plugin for Premiere Pro plugged into this. So I have many pages of different things that I can control in Adobe Premiere Pro. But We're not going to talk about literally this part of the Stream Deck as much as we're going to talk about 2 new adapters that can go in replace of the stand. And if you don't know anything about the Stream Deck, this stand unscrews right here. I was thinking this is my XL, which is magnet, but it unscrews right here with 2 screws. So now there's 2 new adapters that you can put on here, where with my Extreme XL, it just comes off, it's magnetic. And so you just unmagnetize it and you can take it off. But I haven't seen any attachments for this Stream Deck. And this is my main Stream Deck I use all the time to do my lights in my studio. I've used it to control the ATEM before. But again, I don't really use my Stream Deck to control my ATEM. Like I've said many times, I control my ATEMs with the Mix Effect app that's available for the iPad. And so that's the main controller. It's wireless, so I can be portable, so I can go anywhere in the house and control my ATEM. And I have 3 ATEMs, so I can control all of them from one adapter. And I can also create companion buttons in my Stream Deck and control different features in the ATEM. The cool thing about companion in the Stream Deck is that it can control other things in your studio, like your lights and your prompter. Lots of things. You can control OBS, you can control other software from your computer, as well as the ATEMs, the HyperDecks, anything that they have designed a plug-in for, you can design using Companion and the Stream Deck combined. And I will have a video inside my Extreme ISO getting started to talk about how you can download Companion and get started making your own buttons using a Stream Deck. But these adapters are pretty cool. So let's cover them real quick right now. Let me go to this view. So this is the new XL-Dock. It retails for $119. You can also buy combo packs. You can see them on the right-hand side. So you can buy the Stream Deck Plus and the XL-Dock for $299. So if you just want to order a Stream Deck Plus and be able to have the new attachment on it, then you can just order it that way. Or you can buy, if you already have it like I do, you can just order it and you can add this. Now, why is this important? Well, the Stream Deck controls things, but it's not an audio interface. And you have the Wavelink software that you can use and integrate with the Stream Deck. But in reality, what's really cool is now you can actually have a XLR input, and you can see what's available here. Let's just go through this. Equipped with XL-Dock, Stream Deck becomes an ultimate audio station. Plug in your XLR microphone for studio-like sound. Up front, customize, control the mix, monitor, or do just about anything. It's all your audio in one place, saving you focus and desk space. So if you want an audio interface integrated with your Stream Deck Plus, then now you can have your single microphone like I'm using. Every time I'm live or in Zoom, I'm using this microphone. I also can switch to my lapel mic, so you would not be able to do that with this device. It's a one XLR input device. But again, it is now available for $119, or you can get the kit, and we'll go down here and talk about it a little bit more. So you can adjust mic gain, you can mute Spotify or switch from the speakers to your headset. It does have headphone output, and here's a roll around. So you can see you have a USB-C input, which you normally would use to use your Stream Deck Plus, but now it's going to act as an audio interface as well through that same USB port, headphone port next to that, and then next to that is your XLR, and they have this nice web page. It kind of shows you this animated picture. So there's the front, and there's the back, and so that is available. And then if we scroll down, you can see the graphic that I had in my still image tonight. so you can free up your desk space and do even more from one device. So it's got studio preamp, sound loud and clear without booster or lifters, phantom power, brings condenser microphones to life, so phantom power is available. Never clip again when you get loud. Clip guard prevents distortion, so you have clip guard built into it. That's a cool feature. Zero latency monitoring, so put your headphones on, you're not going to have any latency. That's super, super powerful. A lot of that's because of the speed of USB-C these days. And one connection, everything's powered by a single USB cable. So you're powering both your Stream Deck Plus and you're powering the new XL hub. And what is that thing called again? Anyway, let's keep going down here. So it's your mixer, soundboard, and sampler. So you got sampling features available in Stream Deck Plus and XLR-Dock. That's what it's called. Bring all your audio controls together, not just hardware, but also your apps. Tap to use a voice changer or push to talk in Discord. Turn to adjust headphone volume. Even monitor audio levels in real time. Everything is customizable and it's all in one place. Now, there hasn't been a lot online about this, probably because it got rolled out kind of in the off season, but here they are unscrewing the old base and popping in the new base. And you can see with 2 screws and a screwdriver, you can be ready to go. Now you plug it in, plug in your XLR, plug in your headphones, and you have a audio interface, which is really, really cool. So you've got system requirements. So OS, Windows 10 is compatible. The specs. You can see frequency response, 20 hertz, dynamic range, 100 dB, 120 dB with clip guard. Equivalent input noise, minus 130 dB for noise and 60 dB of gain. So obviously that shows you where the noise floor is. If you don't know what the noise floor is, you're talking up here like I'm talking right now. And when you stop talking, if you don't have some kind of filter to cut your microphone off, then you're going to hear the noise. And the noise floor is at minus 130 dB. It's got 75 dB of gain. That's very similar to the Rodecaster Pro version 2. So it should be able to handle the SM7B microphone. Let's see, right now I'm at 62 dB. So you would have quite a headroom available. So you don't have to have a cloud lifter to be able to use the SM7B, which is a low gain microphone. And really get the best performance out of it, you have to have somewhere between 65 to 75 dB to really get the gain out of this. Max output level, you can see the max input level, phantom power available, and sample rate 48 kilohertz, USB-C 2.0 interface. The dimensions are right here. You can see inches and you can see millimeters, and the weight is 5.96 ounces, and that would be with the new adapter attached to it. Okay, so there's another one, but let's look to see if there's any comments here before we go on to the other one. It's good to have you here tonight, Joe, just in case no one saw Joe pop in. We got Joe in the chat. Dave says, Elgato makes such great stuff. Yeah, I absolutely love Elgato. I am a fan. I just think they create things that make things a lot easier, and the fact that you can control it. I love being able to turn my lights on and off with a push of a button on my Stream Deck, and I love being able to control other things using my Stream Deck as well. And now with my Propmpter, I could create a page for running my prompter, starting and stopping the prompter. But tonight we're going to look at the Voice Sync new feature with the new camera hub update. So we're going to look at that here shortly, but let's continue looking at some of these other Elgato updates too the Stream Deck Plus, and I am a fan. I've done lots of videos here on my channel, and we're going to be doing more on this. And I'm probably going to get one of these two adapters. We'll see. And it's cool that you can order another one with the adapter already attached. So I'll buy one to go with my current Stream Deck Plus, and then I'll buy another kit to have another one. And again, these are great for going on the road, or if I'm going to go do a live event and I want more tactile control of things at a live event, I could use this and Companion. But again, like I said, I love mix effects on the iPad and on my iPhone as well. So I'm always torn if I'm going to use Stream Deck and Companion or if I'm going to use mix effect. Again, it just depends. If I'm trying to control things other than the ATEMs, then I need to have Companion and the Stream Deck in order to do that. Tony says, has anyone upgraded to Companion 3? I'm still using an older version of Companion because it just works. Kind of afraid to upgrade in fear it will mess things up. Yeah, and Tony's doing a show, hosting a podcast, video cast, and so I wouldn't want to change either. I would probably want to test it on another computer and maybe see if I could get everything working before I would completely upgrade my show. So, and I get that. I always wonder when I'm going to do an update to firmware or a software if it's going to blow my studio up and make things not work. Ernesto, I think I said hi to you earlier. I just purchased my white Stream Deck Plus to help with my college class on going over Adobe Illustrator. Cool. Yeah, and that's also, they have white versions available. I know that Aaron Parecki likes a lot of white things in his studio. In fact, he's even painted some of his HyperDecks, if I remember right. And I'm kind of wondering why Aaron hasn't invested in some of the new white stuff that's available through these guys. So let's see here. Ernesto, would the Wavelink affect Rodecaster Duo? I want to have the options for controlling the sound with either the Duo or the Stream Deck Plus. Well, what I noticed is that the Wave software runs inside your PC or your Mac, and your Rodecaster Pros run inside the unit. So you have to make sure that you decide what you're using. Obviously, if you have an audio interface in your studio, I almost would always recommend you use your Rodecaster Pro or your Streamer X or your Rodecaster Duo. Those three devices, I would use those as your main audio and your main mic because, again, that's what they're for. They're audio interfaces. They also interact with your computer. They have 2 channels and 4 channels, depending on which Rodecaster Pro you have. And then the Streamer X has 1 HDMI input as well as 1 mic input, so you can have 1 mic and have 1 camera coming in, and then you have to take that out of your Streamer X to be able to go into your laptop or into a Web Presenter Pro or HD, and use that for broadcasting out to YouTube because the Streamer X does not have streaming built into it like the ATEM Mini Pro and Up does. So keep that in mind. But I haven't used Wavelink a lot. I played with it when I was doing my video series on the Stream Deck Plus, but I haven't played with it since. But again, it's just a audio interface with a lot of the features that you're going to see in your audio interface built in to your computer now with USB ports and Thunderbolt ports. You can transfer lots of audio back and forth between your laptop or your PC, your Mac, back and forth to other devices, and it's pretty powerful. So now people are writing very powerful software. The Wave software you can get free when you buy some of the Stream Deck devices, like you get a free license when you buy the Stream Deck Plus. So I would just test it. I don't know if I have any more information than that, Ernesto, but I thank you back as well. So you have the first of these 2 devices, the XL Dock, And then you also have the USB hub. So again, remember, when you're plugging these things in, you're taking up a USB-C port. And a Stream Deck doesn't need a lot of power in the port. That's why they're able to build these expansions. And again, the faster your USB-C port is, the more speed and more power you're going to have. But here you can see you have a USB hub. So now the back of, again, this would screw off, and you would add that USB hub to the back of this, and then you're going to get these USB-A and USB-C ports, and you can even see there's a monitor port there. So if you're traveling around and you need to use your laptop and you need to use your Stream Deck Plus and you don't want to take another hub with you, now this can be your hub. I think it's a pretty powerful tool. In fact, I can see people having one for travel, another one for travel, and then one in the studio. So I can see people having 3 Stream Deck Pluses, one in the studio to do a lot of editing and control in your studio. Maybe you'll have the XLR dock attached to it. Maybe you won't. Maybe you just have a traditional Stream Deck Plus. Or maybe you'd use this USB hub one so you don't have to have another hub. So let's go through this. Again, you can buy it together as a bundle for $229. So that's a great price. Again, you can buy the hub for just $59, so it's not even expensive. So you can buy the kit. So let's do their little demo right here. So there you go. You can see all the things that you can plug into it. I don't know why they don't have all the hubs filled, but we'll continue going down here. Connect your computer. USB hub transforms a single USB-C port into so much more. So there you can see you got a power port. So you can add 100 watts of power. You can see it right now. That way you can power a monitor. And then you have all of these. I would assume it comes with a power adapter. We'll keep going down here through the website. Here you can see it on the desk. So it has very much the same profile as mine does. The only difference is now this has got stuff in it and there's attachments on the back. And people are looking for nice, organized desks, clean desktop space, and these really do help organize things. So your hub tucks out of the way, hiding cables and saving desk space. There it is being snapped together. Again, we'll watch this video from the beginning. Kind of started in the middle, but it's not a big profile thing on your desk. Again, the hub just plugs in the same port, and then it expands to the port to the bottom, and then you just plug it back in. And there you go. Let's look at some of the facts here. Can I use the USB hub without the Stream Deck Plus? No. How many devices can I connect? USB hub supports up to 4 USB devices simultaneously with a combined downlink speed of 5 gigabytes. So again, that's why you only see in the video up here again, they're connecting in 4 things, because that's as many as you can have plugged in. So it's interesting that it has more ports than it can use. Let's go back here again. A couple more questions. Where is it? Can the hub charge my laptop? Yes, connected to the external USB-C power supply, not included. So there is not an included USB-C power supply. So you'd have to give it. USB hub delivers 65 watts to your laptop. My laptop needs 85 watts. It's an Asus Dual with dual screens, so I could not power my laptop with that, but most laptops these days, most people have, you can power at 65 watts. Maybe yours doesn't charge at that. What kind of power supply do I need? To get the best performance for all your devices, use an external USB-C power supply cable of at least 100 watts power delivery. Now, some Thunderbolt hubs now have 100 watts of power delivery. So you could plug into that port in your Thunderbolt dock, and then from there to your Stream Deck to another side of your desk, and have other USB-C devices plugged in there, or other USB-A devices plugged in. Let's see. Can I use the hub without the power supply? It's possible, but not recommended. Most systems are unable to power both Stream Deck Plus and the USB hub on their own without causing performance issues. So keep that in mind. If you do get this device, you're going to want to have power going to it from a Thunderbolt or from a powered USB-C port in your laptop. So you have to see what those power ports deliver. But again, it doesn't mean you have to have a power supply. You just have to have a device that sends that amount of power through one of the USB-C power ports. And not every USB-C port is powered. So read the specs on your particular device or your Mac. If anybody has an M2 Mac, what are those ports? What are the wattage of those ports? That would be nice to know. Or if you have a MacBook Pro, let me know. Yes, you can, but be aware that USB hub, this is for, can I use a SD card, is limited to UHS-1 speeds up to 104 megabytes. Therefore, your USH2 card will read and write at a slower rate. So you can use a card reader plugged into the back of it, but just realize that you're not going to get the 104 megabyte higher speed of a UHS-2 SD card, because they perform at a higher write speeds, read and write speeds. Can I use both card reader slots at the same time? So do we got a card reader slot in this? Did I miss this? Oh, it's card reader slots on the side. I didn't even see those. That's really cool. This is the first time I noticed that. So yeah, you have the micro and the regular SD cards. So let's see what the answer to that question was. Scroll down here. That mouse is giving me issues. Let me go to this mouse. And I need to wrap this segment up. Here we go. Can I use both card reader slots at the same time? Yes, you can transfer content from two cards simultaneously. That's good to know. Is it Thunderbolt compatible? No. So this is not Thunderbolt compatible. So scratch that idea. So it does have to be a USB-C powered port. Do not plug this in the Thunderbolt. That's too bad, but it would be probably $150 if it was Thunderbolt compatible. So hopefully they will come out with one that's Thunderbolt compatible with more ports. Okay. Specs. Here you go. That's what comes in the box on the right-hand side. USB-C hub for Stream Deck Plus, USB-C to USB-C cable, 39 inches or 100 centimeters, and a quick start guide. And then there you can see the downlink ports, two USB 3.2 Gen 1, Type A1, 2X USB 3.2 Gen 1, and Type C port. And you can see 5 gigabytes download speed combined. Uplink ports, 3.2 Gen 1 Type C. That's the one you plug in to operate your Stream Deck Plus. Power input is a USB 3.2 Gen 1 Type C. Power delivery up to 100 watts. card reader, micro and regular standard SD. Dimensions are right there, 88 wide by 76 by 58. That's millimeters. Inches, it's 3.46 by 1.53 by 0.74 inches. Really, if you're into centimeters and millimeters, things seem to be even. I like that. Inches are always like 0.74 or 1.53 or 3.46. So go figure that out. And it weighs 3.14 ounces. So there you go. So let me know if you guys have any questions about these two new plugged-in devices that will expand the use of your Stream Deck Plus to have an XLR interface with a headphone out, being able to control that using the plugins available for the Stream Deck and audio wave, as well as the new hub. So again, if those things seem cool to you, go check them out. Again, the XLR-Dock is $119 unless you buy it as a kit, and the hub is $59, and it sounds like it needs a 100-watt power supply with a USB-C port to really get all the big bang out of it, or you need to have a 100-watt USB-C port available in your device, and I'm not sure if I've ever seen one that does that that's not Thunderbolt. So, okay, so back to, so again, $59 for the hub, and XLR-Dock $119 unless you buy it as a kit. Then you get the Stream Deck Plus the XL-Dock for $299, and the hub you can buy the combined two pieces up here at the top. You can buy it for $229, and again, Stream Deck Plus white USB hub bundle, and a Stream Deck Plus and a USB hub bundle, which is black. So you can get it in both colors. And I think that's true up here. Yep. So you can get it in white or black, which is really cool. And they're both $299 for the XL-Dock. And it is, again, $229. So what is that? $60 cheaper to buy the hub. And then again, you're going to have to use that $60 to buy yourself a power supply. So really cool stuff. So again, let's look at the chat. Put chat on the air here. DJ Ware says USB-C. Mine are all USB-C 4.0 to be exact. Wow. Those are updated ports. Gris, good to have you. Regular Thunderbolt port also has USB channels. You can use this in a Thunderbolt port, but only at the USB 3 speeds. Correct. So Thunderbolt, you have three, like I have a 3 in my studio, and there's now Thunderbolt 4 available in newer laptops, newer PCs, newer Macs, and they're a lot faster ports. They can do more monitors, more 4K monitors, as well as faster charging and everything else. It's available, and those docks are not cheap, but they are coming down in price. I use the OC White dock in my studio. It's a Thunderbolt 3, and it has lots of ports and lots of things you can do. Gigabits, not bytes. Okay. Divide by 8 to get bytes. So gigabits. I stand corrected. Thank you, Grish. 63 years old, and I still pronounce words wrong. You would think I would learn by now, and you're not the first person to correct me on that. Okay. Let's move on. Unless you guys have any questions about those devices, I would be happy to answer those before we move on. I don't want this just to be educational, though it is mostly. I do want to pause and answer any questions that you have, and I do have the Stream Deck Plus in the studio, so let me know if you guys have any questions before we move on. And look at the Prompter update 1.11. And we're going to look at that here in just a minute. Let me, let's see. Do I have, yes. Cool. So let's see if there's any questions before we move on. There is a little delay, so I'm waiting patiently. We are still recording, so it hasn't stopped recording. That's good news. We're streaming at 5.97 to 6.22 and megabytes per second. I have my ATEM Extreme ISO set at streaming high, and so that's why I'm rolling right around there, about 6 megabytes a second up to YouTube. And there's always going to be a little humor from Joe, so thank you, Joe. I took a bite and ate a bit. Okay, you're hilarious. You crack yourself. You're laughing right now too. I can feel it. You are laughing at yourself because you think you're so funny. That's great. I do it all the time. My wife will go, "Are you laughing at your own jokes?" Absolutely. I do it half for my entertainment, half for other people's entertainment. Tony says laugh out loud. Gris says laugh out loud. And yeah, I could feel you laughing from here, Joe. By the way, Joe, I reached out to you 3 or 4 weeks ago. I couldn't log into my Raspberry Pi with a default password. And when you helped me with it, we never changed it. So maybe I'm doing something wrong, but if you could email me if you have any answers or any options for my Raspberry Pi. Joe was so kind to help me and assist me getting my Raspberry Pi set up. I plugged in the app called PlayOutB, which they don't have the 2.0 version available yet. They do for Windows, they do for Mac, I believe, but they do not have it yet for a Raspberry Pi. So I'm still using the older version of PlayOutB. What's a PlayOutB? Pretty simple. It emulates a HyperDeck. So you can automate your Raspberry Pi as a HyperDeck. It does not play lower thirds animated, keyed, and filled graphics, but it does play back video, so you could use it to automatically roll inside your ATEM control software, or ATEM software control is the right name for it, and then you could automate your PlayOutB, so it would act like another HyperDeck in your studio, and you can build a Raspberry Pi and purchase PlayOutB for way less than a new HyperDeck. So for a lot of people, they would love to use that app. So Google PlayOutB and Raspberry Pi, and you'll find some videos out there on YouTube. But that's a pretty cool solution that's available. Okay, let me move my Stream Deck back over to the other side because it's cramping my style over here. And Joe says he forgot to email me. It was the brand new Pi, should be the default. Yeah, so I got stuck, and, you know, when you get stuck, you phone a friend, and the first name that came to me was you, because you helped me in the beginning, and I appreciate it. Regarding Raspberry Pi, Tony says, did you by chance have your caps lock key? I may have. So I don't have the Raspberry Pi plugged in right now. Here is my Raspberry Pi. I bought this case for it, but this is the one that Joe helped me build. Has an HDMI port out, and so one can be a monitor, so you can type with a keyboard. I have my portable gaming keyboard and mouse already plugged in. They're either wireless or Bluetooth, and then I can power this via USB-C, and then if I plug an HDMI cable in the other port, I forget which one's monitor and which one's the main port, it will then play out videos. So I can get them ready in the main software, and then I can play them back in the video or in my live shows, or I can automate them, playing them back using macros, and that's why I really like this. Now, this one has this port as well, and a magnet top to it. And also, it has a little USB adapter that plugs into this bottom USB port and plugs into the bottom, because this has got an M2 chip in it. So I have more memory, and I did that because I wanted to be able to put a bunch of videos on here and play all the time. And this would be something that I would take to like one of my live audio events where I'm just recording, so I could play some like slides or whatever at those shows. And I thought this would be a really good tool. I could make the slideshow and then play it at an event and not try to unhook one of my HyperDecks. So I do want to get this working. I can power it from my hub that I take to the tent, and we do have a tent event coming up on the 23rd. We're setting the tent up, and then we have meetings 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th. Then we take it down on the 30th this month. So it's coming up. I will be running sound for that event, and also doing some live recording. Usually I use my phone or an Insta360 to record it, because they're not paying me to record it. I just like to archive the event, and then I can pull the audio out. But that's the Raspberry Pi right now I couldn't log into. So hopefully those of you guys that know that stuff way better than me can help me. Username is lowercase pi. Oh, I don't remember if it was pi. I thought it was like admin, and then I forget. I looked it up on the internet. So, and lowercase raspberry. Okay, well, I'll try that, and we'll log into it. Nice case. Yeah, I don't know who made this case, but I did quite a, oh, this is Argon 1. It's called the M.2 case. And again, the whole reason for this is so you can put an M.2 chip in here, and then somewhere in this drawer, there it is. This is the little USB-C adapter, and that plugs in, again, the bottom of the two USB ports, USB-C. And what that does is then it will try to boot up from this bottom M.2 chip. So when we set this up, Joe and I didn't set up the Raspberry Pi software on the M.2 chip. So I think I got some work to do to get this working right, because it won't boot if I have this in. If I pull this out, it will boot. Then I can plug it back in, and I could access files from the M.2 chip in here. And I'd have to remove a couple screwdrivers to remember what size M.2 chip I put in here. But had a lot of fun building this. It made me think I was working outside of the box. Oh, also you can download some Raspberry Pi software to run your Stream Deck. So a lot of times you're in Windows or Mac, it'll time out. So if you don't ever want it to time out, you want your Stream Deck on all the time so it's working, then you can run, I believe, Companion as well as your Stream Deck from here. Aaron Parecki does that. I think he's got a video on his channel how to do that, so check that out. Raspberry Pi is just a mini computer. So using Pi iOS or whatever you call it. And if you want to know more about all the different operating systems, check out DJ Ware's channel, because he talks about that stuff all the time on his channel. So come to think of it, the Pi has no password. It's the SD card with the OS that would have a password. So, yeah, there's an SD card on the board, if I remember right. So, I bought the SD card with the kit. Thank you, David. I guess my Raspberry Pi is cool. Try the username and password on the M.2 when you boot. Is the OS you downloaded that needs user password? I think it was the OS that needed the user password. Like, it comes up to a login screen, it goes through the boot up process, and then you have to put it asks for a password. So if you're going to run Playout B, it's an entire image, OS app, etc. So you'll be overriding your SD card anyway, and it will give you a chance to change the password. Yeah, I've already ran it, but I will take that into consideration. DJ Ware would know. So, okay. I'm going to move on. Chat off the air. Let's go to me and my laptop right here. So this is the Camera Hub software page. So I'll open up my Camera Hub software. which is already open, I believe. So this is the Camera Hub software. And if you want to check to see what version you have, you just go up here to the little system wheel on the top and you check for updates. It's updated. I am running 1.11.0. That it has this reference number of 4066. So I already updated that, but we're going to talk about here real quick what the steps are to update. So obviously the requirements, first of all, is the requirements are Camera Hub 1.1 or newer, because there'll be newer updates coming up. Windows with a NVIDIA RTX 260 or better. That's the card I have in my PC, and that's the card I have in my laptop. So it should run fine. It must be using the video card to give you some of these extra features. So you're actually going to have to download the CUDA drivers, and we'll talk about that here in a second. macOS, Apple, Silicon M1 or better. So if you want to run this on a Mac, you're going to have the M1 chip or better. You're going to have a microphone because it's going to sync with your audio. And that's the coolest thing about the higher end teleprompter technology. It's not just something you hit play and then you got to keep up with it. The software is intelligent. So as you read, it follows you and goes at your speed. And that's what a lot of people want if they're going to use a teleprompter. That's what you're seeing in all of the major speeches. When you have the candidates speaking on those teleprompters, they can read and go off script. And as soon as they go back on script, then it starts following them again. And that's exactly the feature that they are saying at Elgato that they have built into this new 1.11 version. So, okay. So those are the specs. Here is another download hub. I'm going to copy. Let's see. Do I want to copy this? Yeah, I'll copy this right now. Go back here for just a minute. Putting this in the notes tonight. Let me try this in Google Chrome to see where it's going to take us. Yeah, it takes us to this page. So I just pasted this link that I'm on right now into tonight's notes. And I will also paste in the XLR. Dock link. Sorry guys, I'm just cleaning up tonight's live stream so you guys have it, and then the USB hub. Let's copy that link in as well tonight. That way, anybody who watches this can go check out those pages. Okay. So that's in the show notes tonight, so you can go back there. So back to me and my laptop. Let's talk about this. So here's the steps we're going to do tonight live. I've already downloaded the software. So it says open Camera Hub and navigate to the Prompters tab. Click on the Voice Sync in the left-hand column. Windows users must have the NVIDIA RTX 2060 or better, and you'll need to install the necessary NVIDIA CUDA drivers, which we're going to do. I'm not sure what that's going to do to our live stream, but we're going to do this live. Files for the voice sync to function. Note that 2 gigabytes of files will be downloaded. Okay, well, this is not a small file. Once it's downloaded, click on your microphone, check if your microphone is selected, and that's going to be under Voice Sync, the different microphones. And then once you're ready to read your script, select the play button at the bottom of the camera hub. So you select the play button, and then it says Prompter will indicate when to start speaking by displaying active at the top right. So I've never seen this before, but these are the steps that we need to take. So I go into my camera hub software. Go ahead and make this full screen. We're going to go over here to this icon right here where it says Voice Sync. It's going to ask me to install the NVIDIA CUDA required. And if you don't know what CUDA are, it's CUDA processors. They help process video frames. It'll help you render videos in Adobe and different software faster. You don't have to go through rendering everything. When you have those CUDA processors in your video card, they render right on there, so you can be rendering some of your effects in real time. Other effects, you still have to go through a rendering queue to see animated graphics, but those CUDA processors are on the NVIDIA cards, and obviously there's technology in the M1 chip as well. So if you have an M1 chip in your Mac, you can use it as well. So I'm going to click on install, and we'll see how long that takes, but I wanted to do this live because it's fun to put myself on the spot. Then we're going to see if we can't get the prompter to work and sync with my speech, because that's the kind of prompter that I would want to use. I don't use my prompter. Occasionally I'll put notes on it when I'm talking to a client. But as far as doing a video where I type everything out, which is really what you should be doing if you're doing high-end advertisement videos, because then you can completely chill out. You wrote the script, you've reviewed the script, you like the script, so you can just come in, look into the camera, and let it follow your voice, and you could do whatever rhythm you want, and you'll sound great. You'll have great influence because you've chosen every word. You're not stumbling over anything, and it will save you time when you are doing a video because you got it right the first time because you have a script. So anyway, we are getting close to this being done. And then we will see if we can get it working, but we do have to download the NVIDIA CUDA driver. It's required. So there it goes. It's done. So now let me go back to the instructions here. So I've installed it. Check if your microphone is selected. And where is this feature? It doesn't give you too many. So there's the voice sync feature. Microphone right here. So Rodecaster Pro main stereo. That's what you guys are listening to. So there you go. So I chose that. Reading position. I guess you can change the position of it. I never saw that before. So, okay, so let's go ahead and fire up my mobile phone. Now, I did set up tonight to use Epoch Cam. I'll see if Epoch Cam will come on right now, and it doesn't seem to want to work tonight, even though I tested it earlier. So let me go ahead and go with my tethered camera here, so you guys can see my prompter. So I'm sharing my software. I could add this. Let's mess around with Super Source here. That's always fun. My software is closed. Let me open up my control software. I don't know what I was thinking tonight, but I have my mobile camera. That is in input 4. So there is my prompter right in front of me. So we are going to add this once the software opens up into Super Source. So let me move that over here, moving super source or the ATEM software control. We'll click into super source here. We're going to open up box 3. We're going to make it input 4. Enable the box. Let's make this input 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I don't see it because it's buried behind box 2, I think. Yep, it is. So let's move up box 2. And I'll let you guys see what I'm doing now. And let's take box 3 and move it down and size it down a little bit more. And we'll bring it over here, bring camera 1 up and over a tiny bit. Not the best super source layout, but it is working. So there's the prompter. I can switch cameras and give you guys a close-up. So there's the prompter. I'll try to hold this as still as possible. Now I'm supposed to hit, if I remember right, I'm supposed to hit play. Let me find my mouse. And let's see if it says active. It says active. Introduced with Camera Hub 1.11. Voice Sync automatically scrolls your script only when you speak, whether you speed up or slow down or pause. It will adapt to your reading pace. The guide will cover how to use, or this guide will cover how to use Voice Sync in Camera Hub. Requirements: Camera Hub 1.11 or newer. Windows, NVIDIA RTX 2060 or better. MacOS, Apple Silicon M1 or better. Microphone. Step 1 is open Camera Hub and navigate to Prompter tab. Step number 2, click on Voice Sync in the left-hand column. Windows users must have a NVIDIA RTX 2060 or better, and you'll need to install the necessary NVIDIA CUDA files for Voice Sync to function. Note that 2 gigabytes of files will be downloaded. Oops, some crazy graphic that's not there. Camera Hub onks 1 SIY in PNG. 3, check if your microphone is selected. We did that. Let me get this in here. 4, once ready to read your script, select the play button at the bottom of the Camera Hub. Number 5, Prompter will indicate when to start speaking by displaying active at the top right. At the top right. So there you go. I got away with that live, which blows my mind because I got to be honest with you, I figured that would be an epic fail. So I applaud Elgato. All you have to do is download the Camera Hub 1.11, the newest update. Then you have to go, if you have a Mac or you have a PC, you go through the steps. Again, the Mac M1 should work fine. You download the CUDA processors after you hit that one icon, Voice Sync, and I'll take you guys back over here so you can see it. Voice Sync right here in the app. Now when I click on it, it doesn't do anything, but when I clicked on it before, it told me I had to download the drivers. Then I just clicked on the play button on the very bottom here. It's on play now, so I hit pause again. So I could go back to the top of my script, hit play again, and then it pops up and says it's active. It's hearing my microphone from me right here, and it skipped down to number 1 because I said something wrong, and it skipped all the way down to that first spot here, right there, for whatever reason. So let's do it again. Let's hit pause. And now I'll go back to the top and I'll hit play. And you can see up here in the top, It says active. I'll try to put my finger in the screen here. How do I do that? No, I can't. So active is right up there on the top, and it says active. So again, introduced with Camera Hub 1.1, Voice Sync automatically scrolls your script only when you speak. Whether you speed up or slow down or pause, it will adapt to your reading pace. The guide will cover how to use your sync in Camera Hub. Requirements, Camera Hub 1.1 or newer, Windows NVIDIA RTX 2060 or better, Mac OS, Apple Silicon M1 or better, microphone. Step 1, open Camera Hub and navigate to the Prompter tab. And I won't read all the way through this again. So again, it is working, and that is completely, totally cool. So there you go. 10 after. We have covered 2 new devices that you can plug in to. If you don't have one, the one you're going to get, Stream Deck Plus. I have one, has a traditional stand on the back, 2 screws on the bottom you can remove, and you can add the XLR-Dock or the USB hub. And I'm sure they'll come up with some other cool plugins for this device. But I love the fact that that Stream Deck Plus actually has these new features. So they're expanding it. You can get it in white. And then the last thing I wanted to say is, let's go back in here to products. Oh, come on. Where are you here? Let's go back to Elgato. Let's go to homepage. Let's click on okay, what is the deal here? I want to show you guys this. Products. There we go. So this is what I want to close with tonight. Stream Deck Plus. There we go. So one of the things that I want to do is buy these gold knobs. So you can actually change the knobs. You have gold, you have silver. It comes with black. You can get blue. You can get pink, anodized, purple, and red. I think red would look cool too. So you can customize your Stream Deck. They're $19.99 for each set. And again, the current black knobs would come off and you would replace it with the gold knobs. Now the gold would look cool because you can see I have black and yellow as my colors, even though yellow's not gold, but it would be cool to have mine have my company colors. I thought that would be really cool. So I'm going to get a set of these for $19.99 just for the fun of it. I'll unbox them here on the channel, and that will be a lot of fun. And that's it. Stream Deck Plus, Prompter updated. You now have voice sync built in. It was simple to install it. You just got to select your microphone, and now you can be able to do it. There's already dictation features built in to the prompter, so you could dictate your script, but the best thing for you to do really would be to write out your script, make sure you pick all the words, and then be able to just relax and be in a really good, comfortable space and be able to look right into your prompter and read your script for whatever videos you're producing. And one of my videos for my new Extreme ISO getting started, I am going to do that whole video on the prompter now. And so I'm going to do some writing tomorrow. And again, if you have any ideas of things that you would like to have in my outline for my new Extreme ISO getting started video that will be free here on my channel, for anybody that wants to learn more how to use an extreme ISO. It'll apply to an extreme. There's only really one or two major differences in the extreme and the extreme ISO, and that's the ISO track recording and then the folder and the files that it makes when you're ISO recording. If you buy an extreme, you're just recording the program and it doesn't make any cool folders that you can open up in DaVinci Resolve like a ISO does. That's true with the ATEM Mini Pro ISO, the SDI ISO model. All the ISO models record all the inputs and then some, as well as making folders for the media pool that you used and all the audio files. Every single live feed from your cameras is recorded when you do ISO track, so you can completely re-edit your program later if you produced it while you were live. And that's really cool. You can make those adjustments, and it creates an XML file that you can bring into DaVinci Resolve, and that's the free version as well as the paid pro version. So if you download DaVinci Resolve and you have an ISO, either the ATEM Mini 4-channel ISO or the 8-channel Extreme, or even the new HD console model that also will do ISO tracks, then you can do some quick editing in DaVinci Resolve and make some changes inside that software, and it's free. And that's a great, great tool that's available for us. Okay, so let's see here. Chat on the air. Voice recognition software doesn't work well for me. I'm sorry. Maybe it is because of the articulation. Wow. We'll come back to that. Thank you so much. Get your gold knobs on me. Thank you, Hank. Hank just gave me a super chat. It actually displayed correctly. That's great. I will say that if this is not a JPEG file on your channel, then sometimes it doesn't work well. But look at that. That, I think, is almost a new record for a super chat. So thank you, Hank, so much. I appreciate that. Then if you watch the top of your channel page, you'll see that Hank's super chat stays up there longer. The more you give, the longer they stay. So you're not familiar with super chat, that's enabled once you get to a certain amount of subscribers. People can support your channel, and I appreciate that very, very much. Keep in mind, YouTube does get a percentage of that, of course, a commission. But thank you so much. I already have it in my my shopping cart, and so I will apply those funds. The other thing, that money and my AdSense money comes in my AdSense account, so it's directly deposited to my bank. And I got a check this last month. We're approaching 3,000 subscribers on the channel. That's really cool. So I use an app to monitor my channel called YouTube Studio. It's right here. I can show you guys that closer by going to here. So I click on YouTube Studio on the top right. And I'll close that for a minute. See if I can show you this. Yeah, I'll go ahead and show you this. So it gives me all this information on my channel, how many subscribers. I have 2,982, so we're 18 away. And 83 average subscribers for every 28 days. You can see my estimated revenue there is $46.13. Then if I click down here on the bottom right of the app, it tells me that when I get to $100, I'll get more money. I could add short video ads. I could add I have super chats already. I could have watch page ads. And some of these are already added. Supers. It actually tells me estimated revenue $350 because Hanks will not register until tomorrow. But anyway, I love this app. I love the analytics that's with it. I love the content. I can choose different videos and see how they're performing right here. So again, I like this app. And again, thank you, Hank, for the super chat. Now that's going to stay up there for a while because that's a pretty large super chat. So when you do a super chat, it's designed so that you could come to the top of the list, and I'm supposed to read your statement, and which I did with Hank. That's the etiquette, and I'm supposed to go to it as quickly possible when I see a super chat come in and then address it in the middle of my live stream. And then when you use Super Chat, you have a little slider of how much money you want to give. So you want to be very careful with that. You can type in your question. You could do it on an iPhone, or you could do it in the regular chat if you're on your computer. But that is how Super Chat works, and it has to be enabled on your channel. And so it takes so many watch hours and takes so many subscribers. And again, I don't know what that algorithm is. Maybe we'll take a live stream and talk about that again. Thank you, Hank. So, Tony, I thank you for that. Hit the like button, please, guys. I appreciate it. So voice recognition software doesn't work well with me. And I know some people are multiple, like bilingual or multiple language, and it really does have to have really good AI technology that can hear the words that you're saying. So the pronunciation and all that stuff. There's multiple languages available. So I don't know if it's just the way you speak, or if it's it's not your primary language, or some people these softwares really have an issue with. So I've noticed that 3 or 4 years ago when they did like dictation apps, they wouldn't listen to me right. But I think this technology really has improved greatly. So hopefully that will work for you, Chio Walker. Okay, about time for me to go. I do want to say that I do love the Oregon coast, and I put that in here earlier in relationship to the comment from Grish that he's at Lincoln City watching me. Again, go check out people's channels here in the chat. I know that many of you have channels, so go over there and subscribe. Support each other. Next week, I'll be letting you guys know when our Zoom gathering is going to be. Also, I have planned, if I can arrange it with my client, to have a guest next week. You're going to get a chance to see a behind the scenes of his studio, and I'm going to show you some clips of his very first podcast, and then I will have that guest hopefully on with me next week, if all goes well. If not, it'll be the week after that. We have 2 more weeks before I have to be at the tent, I believe. Let's just look at the calendar. Yeah, I'll be at the tent on the 24th, so we have the 10th and the 17th. And then if I have fast enough cell service, or I can come up with a hotspot by then, I may go live from the tent, but I guarantee you guys, I'll have some video footage of my rig loaded up. I'll have some time lapse of me loading in the sound so you guys can see that. I plan on doing that this time when we set up sound. I looked at some trusses the other day to hang lights from, so I may be buying some trusses from Marketplace here in the local area. And actually, when I went over to look at them, this guy has a business, and we got talking about Blackmagic Design, and I found out that he is a Blackmagic Design distributor in my area. I didn't even know I had a Blackmagic Design distributor in my area, and so I will probably order some things through him because he threw a client my way. And I will probably do some video at her location here in my block, so you guys can see that as well. That would be fun to put in a live stream. So if all goes well, I should have a guest on next week. If it doesn't go well, we'll schedule it for the week after that. And you guys get a chance to see some behind the scenes of a podcast and see a little bit what I do when I'm consulting with people. Now, I don't just do consulting for podcasts and live streaming. I also do installs locally. So I've installed some ATEM Mini Pros, some Extremes in the region, in the state of Washington. I love doing that as well, helping people figure out how to use those in live venues. And so also I wanted to give a shout out tonight to one of my mentors. Let me see if I can find it here. Let's go to my channel. Let's go here. Come on, Aaron, why are you making me watch all these commercials at the beginning of your video? Okay. So I want to give a shout out to a great guy, Aaron Parecki. This is his channel. He just did a complete overview of the OC Go Stream Duet. And this thing's, wow, it's interesting. It only records one input, but you can choose, I think, what you want to record. So you kind of have individual single ISO recordings, but it only records one channel at a time. It plays video back from an SD card. It has 4 SDI inputs, 4 HDMI inputs. You can only use 5 inputs at a time. So you could use 2 of the SDIs and 2 of the HDMIs. And then it has a USB-C or a webcam input as well. So you have 5 total inputs. I love this video. I will put a link to Aaron's video in tonight's description. And let me do this right here. Aaron Parecki, new video on the OC OC Go Stream Duet. OC Go Stream Duet. Also, I have a link in the description under my Amazon associate links for an extreme ISO as well as a Stream Deck Plus and also the XL-Dock. I could not find the USB hub on Amazon, but those links are in the description. So anytime you use those, that helps support the channel. You pay the same, but we get some support here on the channel. So that is logged in. I'll save that. And now you have those links all in the description tonight. So any last words that you guys would like to say before we roll out? I'm all ears. Got my Diet 7-Up. Oh, this is cool. Musty, thanks for joining me. I have never seen you here before that I know of. Hey, Keith, great stream so far. I have a quick question. Is it possible in SRC to make my camera appear cycle? So SRC, I'm trying to figure out why am I not... Stream Deck, right? Is it possible in SRC? Super Source, okay. Is it possible? No, but it is possible in the DVE. So you have 2 DVEs. So your DVEs will let you put yourself in a circle. So all you would do is turn off one of the 4 inputs in Super Source, and then in reality, Super Source, you can have 4 boxes. You can't do outlines. You can do a background behind all 4 boxes. You can turn any one on or off. You can move them around the screen, but you can't put a border. You can't put a shadow, but you can crop them and size them. But you have 2 DVEs available, which is basically picture-in-picture, but you can also put those in circles and boxes. So you can turn on 2 DVEs, have a circle with you in it, an outline, a shadow, and that's all available by using your DVEs. And if you don't know where those are, let me show you. So right here under, so let's just see. So in my DVEs right now, I use it for my Skycam, but if I wanted to put my Skycam in a circle, I would go to pattern instead. And right now I have the pattern set to my EOS R, which is the camera, my main camera I'm using right now. So that is key number 3. So if I turn that on the air right now, I'm in a circle right there, if you can see that. Let me reposition that. Use flying key. So again, you have all of these abilities. Let's just turn just the background on. That's an MP Player 2. And then let me, so DVE is going to look like this. I will put my EOS R in there. And if I go to pattern, you can see my face in there. So I got to change the size. And then the position. So there you go. So if I do it like this, I can't put a border or a box around it. I can only put myself in the circle. I can put myself in a diamond. I could put myself even in something like this or like that or just a box, and I can change the sizes of all these, the symmetry of all of these, the softness of the edges in all of these. I can mask them like that, turn masking off, and I can also fly these around the screen. So I'll set location A, and then I'll fly this over to B, set B, and now here's running to A, here's running to B, and then here's running to full screen. So you can do those kind of tricks in different type boxes. So if you want that to be a circle, you can do the circle and then do the same thing and set the locations, go full screen. But in Super Source, so let's turn that off. In Super Source, let's turn Super Source back on the air. I can bring on as many boxes as I want, but I can't put them in a circle. I can crop it. So if you just want to do a circle, then you're going to have to do that under your DVEs. And that's what it's using. You have two DVEs built in, so you can have two people in circles on the screen at the same time, or two cameras, whatever you want, but that is available. We'll have to do more of a tutorial of that in my new Extreme ISO series. So Musty, if you want to request that I cover that more in depth in my new Extreme ISO series, you need to put that in the chat. I will do that demo and give you a shout out in my new video series when it's released. So, okay. So create a Photoshop Super Source layout graphic with, yeah. And that's right too. So Tony's correct. Let me put that on the air. So you could create a graphic, make it transparent, and then you can put yourself in a circle, even in Super Source. So what that means is that you have the ability in Super Source, I'll show you this here. You have art. You can do it in the foreground or the background. So what Tony, QuickTech Solution is saying is that you would put that graphic in the foreground. If I put the graphic in the foreground right now, it's the background behind all this, and it's going to cover all the cameras. So I'm going to click background to foreground, and now I disappeared because this graphic is over top of me. But if I was to change the graphic that's in Media Player 2 and use like a PNG, then now you can see that that graphic is a foreground graphic. All I did was change the graphic down here because I'm using Media Player 2 to put my graphic in the foreground or the background. And so if I go back here to Super Source and I put this in the background, it's going to go behind my input number 2. So if I go up here to input number 2 and turn it off, then you can see that graphic is in the background. So Tony's right. You could put a graphic, you could design a graphic full screen with 2 cutout circles, and then you could line up the box that I'm in behind a circle, and it would work perfectly fine. And that is a great catch, Tony. Thank you for sharing that. Okay. Thank you, David, for the great show. You're welcome. Yes, please. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. So the rule is, Musty, is you have to ask, you have to write out how to put things in circles in super source in the chat, and request that in my ATEM Extreme ISO series, because I'm going to copy and paste it and your name right now into my notes. So if you would request that in the chat before we close down tonight, I will copy that into my notes and give you a shout out. Okay, well, that's all I have, unless you guys have any other demos that you want to talk about. So again, thank you for that information, Tony. That really helped us out. And Musty, you are welcome. Just make sure you request me to do a demo of how to put people in circles in SuperSource, and you would have to use a foreground graphic. If you wanted 4 people in circles, you would do 4 transparent circles. You could also include their names. And then if you do macros, you could have one background with a circle with your name on it. Then you bring the first guest in. You would have another circle with two cutout circles, or another background with 2 cutout circles in it, with both guests, my name and the guest name on. And then you would just do another graphic, and then you create a macro to bring in the guest and change the background graphic, or in that case, the foreground graphic, because you'd want the circle to cover up this square image. So again, foreground image would put me in a circle because it's got a circle built in to the foreground image. There you go. So let me copy this into my Word notes. Thank you for that. Musty. Find that file. It's in last week's live stream. Let me bring this up real quick. Then we'll wrap this up and I will head out. That's under my live stream folder, under last week, which was the end of August. What was that date? Last week would be August 27th. There we go. It's under Meet My Canon Tribe. Okay. Musty. Requests. People in circle for SuperSource. I'll do DVE and, well, actually it's going to be called, what is that called? Pattern and keys and foreground image. Should cover it. Okay, so there'll be a shout out to you, Musty, in that training. So my way of being able to say thank you guys for joining me live and being a part of the live stream. And I appreciate it very much. So that's all I have, guys. Look at that. Never, my TV's off tonight. I don't know what the story of that is. Weird. But it's back on again with the date. It is September 3rd. So thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. This is Keith Bennett, Life Journey Production Studios. Please hit the like button. Please consider using the Amazon associate links below, as well as share these videos and check out some of the other videos here on my channel. I'll see you guys next Tuesday, and I will be busy in the studio this week working on that new getting started ATEM Extreme ISO video. So until then, peace out.